Hi everyone, this is Bobby of Knitter's Niche. Welcome back to all my returning viewers and welcome to my new viewers. Today we're going to be talking about summer knits, affordable summer knits. These are knit with cotton, it can be knit with linen, it can be knit with silk. All of these textiles, all of these fibers lend to a summer knit. And I also want to tell you just a little bit about myself, which I didn't do in the second episode. So my new viewers probably didn't know how long I've been knitting and how long I've been crocheting. I also sew. Been sewing for a very, very long time since I was quite young. I started crocheting, oh goodness, it was in my middle to late 30s. My sister had taught me on a little, we went up to Vancouver on a little road trip and she taught me how to crochet. Just a small little square. I don't have a square any longer, but you know what? I still have that soft, appreciative feeling to know that she gave me the gift of crochet. She taught me how to crochet and she had taught herself how to crochet. This is my oldest sister. And she'd crocheted just learning from books. You know, we didn't have internet back then. So she's got it all figured out. She's such a hands-on person and she taught me, which I'm so appreciative of that. Then a few years later, a friend of mine opened a yarn shop in our small little town and her name's Ruth. And I went in there and I would get, you know, yarn for my crochet items and so on. And I said, you know, I'd really like to learn to knit. And she said, no problem. You can do it. Well, I thought, oh goodness, there's two needles here and I'm used to just one hook and I hold my yarn in my left hand. So she taught me English style at first to throw it, you know, and she saw me struggling and so on. And she said, I'll tell you what, try continental. All the yarn and everything is held in my left hand and I just kind of pick with my right hand. So I have a needle here and I have the yarn tensioned here. And I got it in just a second. And so any of you that crochet that want to learn to knit, try continental knitting. You've already got the hand for yarn. You know how to tension yarn. So you're already ahead of the game. So then, you know, going to Ruth's shop, the gift that she gave me was the gift of knitting. And I'll say it again, I'm so appreciative of that. I'm so appreciative for the gift of knitting. Any of you out there that are thinking about teaching someone to knit, I hope you understand that is a tremendous gift because you don't know where they're going to go with this skill that you've just taught them. Or if you teach them to crochet, it could become a lifelong hobby, or it could become their bread and butter, you know, their income. They could make a business out of it because there's so many different things we can do with our yarn, so many different avenues you can take. So anyway, I just wanted to start off with that real quick and just kind of give you a thumbs up on knitting, a thumbs up on crochet, and let's get this started. So let's talk about what I'm wearing. This is the Ana Luisa top, and this was a test knit I had done, and I had talked about this at the very end of episode 1. I had already said goodbye, and then I popped back in, and I was wearing this and talked a little bit about it. This is by Christy Archer Design, and this tank top, it's got this real nice modern cut here and also through the back. So, and what I have done with it is I've done a little French half tuck, and I've got denim shorts on right now with a little red belt. So there's so many different ways that you can style this, but this is cute. I mean, I could pull it out too, or even, you know what would really be nice is a little pair of linen shorts, little drawstring linen shorts would be darling with this too. The Ana Luisa, this was knit with, let me show you the pattern real quick here. This is the pattern. It was knit with cotton et lin. This is a Yarn Bees yarn. It's 80% cotton and it is 20% linen. I use the size 8, US 8 needles. I knit the size 3. Now this is a pay-for pattern, but like I said, this was a test knit that I had done for Christy, and enjoyed that so much. She is very, very talented. Her patterns are very classic, yet they're modern. They have that classic feel that they're gonna be in style for always be in style. And you can see how she's styled this. She's got a little leopard belt and a denim skirt on. So she really does that. And you'll find it, if you go on Ravelry and look her up, you will see how she styled some of her other knits, because she's modeling all of them. And that's a wealth of information right there, because a lot of times we don't know, okay, I've knit this, what am I gonna wear with it? How am I gonna wear it? Am I gonna, wear it over a shirt, or, so she gives you, just the photographs that she's done are very, very helpful. So that is the Ana Luisa, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, top. But it's a halter top, kind of a halter top in a way. Now, as far as the undergarment that you would wear with this, I do have a racer back bra on. So that pulls in, because the back kind of pulls in a little bit more so than the front. So you have a front and you have a back to this. This is knit from the top down. Yes, love the top down, because you can try it on as you go. And you can make adjustment as you need to. Now, I didn't, because I didn't buy the pattern and buy the size that she had written it, because that's very important when you're a test knitter to do what the pattern says. And then you let the designer know if there's an issue with the count, or if it can be explained a little bit better, any grammar mistakes or anything like that. So test knitting, I love it. I've cut back on it now since I'm doing my YouTube channel. So, but I do want to get back into that. I check all the time. You can go on hashtag test knitters needed on Instagram, and you'll see them, you'll see them there. And you can also go on to Yarn Pond. I would look them up on Instagram too, YARNPOND, Yarn Pond. And a lot of test knitters go to Yarn Pond, put their patterns out there, and they'll just blast them out there, show them, and then in turn you check on that and see what tests are up and coming. And then if you want to use Yarn Pond, then you give them your information, and then they let you know when all these new tests are coming up. And so I would recommend test knitting for sure. I love it. I've done so many things I never would have done before. So this is the Ana Luisa tank. She has some other ones that are have a little bit different detail. She's got a split hem one with detail going down the side, and it's a stockinette here with eyelets coming up here, little lace, teeny bit of increases here, which formed a little bit of a lace that I would like to try, and I'll show you a picture of that here in a little bit. And the next thing I want to talk about, and this is done in a cotton. This is done in Lion Brand's Kobu. This is the Kobu here. And this is a DK weight, and it is 51% cotton and 49% rayon from bamboo. So there's a little more smoothness with this, since the bamboo is in it. But something you kind of need to understand too, or remember, I should say, is with cotton and bamboo, any plant fiber yarn is not going to have the bounce back. And as you're knitting and it gets longer, it could get heavier, it might stretch out. Chances are it will. So something to consider when choosing your size, or when you get to the point to the bottom, you might want to knit it shorter than you think you might need to, because with wear it will stretch out a little bit, which I guess most knitted garments do, even when it's in a little bit. But since it doesn't have that bounce back, there's no nylon in it, there's no wool, it's plant-based, that's something to consider. But let me go ahead and and this is called the Tweed Tee. And this is, oh, I hope I pronounce her name right, Karen Altbuff. Altbuff? I'm sorry, Karen, if I mispronounced this. And this is a paid for pattern. This was a testing I had done about a year ago. I did the size 1 on US 6, which is 4mm needles. The colors I used, let me grab this real quick here so we can take a closer look. The colors that I had used are the mauve, tan, silver, and I don't know if that bluish color, if it's lichen or lichen, L-I-C-H-E-N is how that's pronounced. And again, this is Lion Brand's Kobu, which is cotton and bamboo. And if you take a look at the cuff on here, I did modify that. Even in a test knit I did, I believe most of the test knitters were doing this in wool. And I chose to do cotton, you know, try something a little bit different, which I usually do. I always think, oh, I'm going to try that in cotton, or, oh, I'm going to try this, oh, I'm going to try that. Even though it was a test knit, I messaged Karen and I told her, I said, you know what, the stitch pattern that goes for the cuffs and for the hem is just not quite getting it with the cotton. This cotton's not cooperating. It looks fantastic with the photo that you have done. And I said, would you care if I change that? And she said, no, that's fine. So this is, and I'll put a picture in this, in here of me wearing it. It is so cool to the touch. Next to skin soft, the drape is beautiful. Here is the hem again that I had done. And I'm going to tell you in a second here where I found that stitch pattern for the hem. And that's something that you might want to think about too when you're knitting your garment, and you know, this fiber is not quite working with this stitch. You know, or you just might want to change it and do something a little bit different. There are resources out there. It's so easy to change it here. This is in the round, of course, and this is in the round on the bottom. So your stitch count needs to be divisible by whatever stitch pattern you choose to do. And if it's not, you can fudge it a little bit. If you need to knit two together to eliminate a stitch or whatever, you can do that. With this one, it happened to work out just fine. So there again, this is the tweed tee. It is a paid for pattern. And there you go. And I also want to try, I wouldn't mind trying this and maybe just making it sleeveless, because that would be excellent for this time of year. So that was a test knit another test knit I had done, and that was done a year ago. So I'm going to hang this back up here. So that's the tweed tee. And oh, this is where I got my information on how to change the cuff, and also how to change the hem. Like I said, it wasn't this cotton, it did not look good at all. The cotton had, the stitch definition is a little bit different. Well, so it's very different than if you use wool. But this is by Ann Budd. It's the Knitter's Handy Book of Top-Down Sweaters. Okay. This is the back of it here. I had gone online and was looking, you know, I never knit a sweater and I wanted to knit a sweater, and I've had this for a couple of years, this book, and it's great reference. I didn't knit anything. Basically what it is, it tells you different ideas for cuffs and for hems and for, you know, raglan, and it's almost like, well, it's not almost like, it is. You could read this. There's a lot of information, and it might look a bit much when you open it up, because it goes, all the sizes are included. But this is the one that I had chose right here. I didn't do the faux seam, but I did, that's the hem that I chose. So it's really simple, but the nice thing about it is I had knit, I think I knit the last 3 rows on this stitch pattern for this hem, and what it did, it caused it to just roll out a little bit, just a little bit of a roll, and that's adorable. I think that's very t-shirt looking anyway. But as you're thumbing through here, you'll start to see she goes through Fair Isle, seamless yoke sweaters. She has schematics in here. There's lace, raglan sweaters. Here's another one. I would like to try this. Here's the detail down the side of this one that I think would be wonderful. I won't really get too close with this because I would suggest going out and buy this. I went onto Amazon, as I said, and if you've ever gone onto Amazon to look for a book, you can get used ones. I thought, okay, I'll get a used one. This was like, I want to say like $7 and change or something like that. And, you know, I'm going to have this forever. It's going to be my reference book forever with sweaters because I might want to try writing my own pattern just for myself. I would never, well, I should probably never say never, but I probably wouldn't ever do this. At this point in my life, you know, I don't think I'm going to go out and design a sweater and, you know, have a pattern for sale, but I like to put my mark on what I make. Of course, the patterns they're more than a recipe. I was going to say they're a recipe, but they're more than a recipe. Someone has written this out, figured it out, had a tech editor look at it, and had testers testing it for them. So it's a bit of a process, and that's a lot of hard work. And I'm more than willing to pay the price that they have on these patterns. And I'm so grateful that we've got, that we have things online now that we can do that, and we can just search what we're looking for, and we have an option. And everything's so much more size inclusive too. And also, another thing you can do when you're knitting a garment is you can, I think someone called it Frankenstein, where you like take a feature from this pattern, like you want to do this cuff on this sweater, and then another sweater you want to do a different hem, and this one maybe you want to do a saddle shoulder instead of a, you know. By doing that, I think you force yourself to you thinking in a different way, and you're kind of making your own sweater when you do that. But that would be just for me, and just for, you know, and I really do like to change things. At first, I'll knit it as written, and then if I really like it, I think, oh, I'll change, you know, like I said, I change the hem, I change the cuffs. Maybe on this V-neck, like this V-neck here, does not have any real detail, but I do like it a lot. It's beautiful. Look at the flow and drape on that. You know, I might want to do some ribbing instead, just some ribbing to come down like that. And that would be very, I want to say that would be very, I was going to say schoolgirl, but, you know, kind of like a school uniform kind of look, a little more preppy, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I would recommend this book tremendously. Anything by Ann Budd, and her last name is spelled B-U-D-D. I would buy it, get it, go on Ravelry, see if she's got any patterns on there. I don't think I've ever done that and searched for her. That's a good idea. I might do that. So anyway, this is how I came up with some changes for my tweed tee. So that, having said that, we're talking about summer knits. So I'm going to also talk about summer crochet and some of the accessories that we might use. I had crocheted this. This is my first one. This is the Edda bag, E-D-D-A bag. It's like a market bag. And this, it opens up like this. And look, all the space that you have here. Now I haven't lined it because I want to use it like at the grocery store. I want to use it when I'm headed to the beach. I want to use it when I'm headed to the boardwalk, riding my bike, flinging over my shoulder. And I'll tell you what I knit it with. It's sugar and cream. And I know a lot of you are very familiar with this. sugar and cream cotton. It's 100% cotton. And these are the cones that I had bought. And when I had bought this, it was on sale. I think it's usually 14. I think it was like 30% off or something like that. So this is very affordable and it goes a long way. I did it with that, and then I have another one that I have done. I thought, you know, here's what I saw. I'll tell you what I saw. I think I was looking on Pinterest, because I used to use Pinterest all the time. I just type in, you know, crochet bag or whatever. And I saw one that someone was selling where they had took and they had dipped the bottom in RIT dye, clothing dye, the bottom of it, and which is kind of neat. It just kind of went up and it kind of bled up and kind of blended in, which loved it. Fantastic. So I thought, well, and I actually bought some dye. I haven't done it yet, but I did buy some dye, but I didn't do it. And I thought, well, how about if I just crochet one? So I thought, well, we'll just do a little half and half here. Isn't that cute? And then I made a little pom-pom and a tassel and put on there. And there again, you've got, just opens right up. And then there's the back. Okay, this is not difficult at all. And the nice thing about this, there's 2 stitches, the whole thing, okay? Here's what they are. Chain, which we chain, you know, that's easy, and single crochet. And that is it. And what you would do is you would start, and you start this direction. I don't know if you can see this here. You start this direction, it's all this way. And then you're gonna do your chains and your single crochet in there, okay? And then you're gonna come around and you're gonna do the border. And I will say there's one more stitch I did. I mean, it's a slip stitch. It just neatens it all up. You come around here and I slip stitch there, and then the same here. Okay, but this is the Etta bag, and this is by We Are Knitters. There is a free pattern. It is free. It's EDDA bag. It's a free pattern. Go on their website. Sugar and cream. Yep. Oh, and I also did it with a US-H hook, which is 5mm. And so it goes pretty quickly. Well, I can show you, since it's a free pattern. I'll just show you a picture of what I was talking about. See, you start like this. So you're going this direction, okay? And then you're gonna start knitting across that with your single crochets. And then from there, you are going circular. It's spiral. You're going circular, and you're catching all those edges, and it comes up. Well, let me hold it up again for you. See? You're going like this. There you go. It's really easy, and it is adorable. My gosh. I just think it's too cute. And look at that. I mean, this looks like I bought it, you know, in a little high-end little boutique at Myrtle Beach, or, you know, Naples, Florida or something. Really, really cute. Really cute. So these are my Etta bags. Quick, easy crochet. We've got time. Like I said, you could use this as your market bag when you go. They have market days, a farmer's market where I live, and they probably do in most cities in the United States, most, maybe even a little bit bigger cities, maybe not all cities, most of them have a farmer's market, and you can take this and put your purchases in there. And I guarantee you somebody's gonna ask you, where did you get that? Because I've had that question. And I said, well, I made it. So it's crocheted, H hook, quick crochet. So we'll hang this back up. And also another little bag that I have done. Oh, it's so It's so cute. I can hardly stand it. It's like, here's all my colors here. And this is done with cotton again. And then the bottom, I combined all of them in a granny square. I had gone online, and there again, I was on Pinterest, and I was looking for a crochet bag. And this video came up. It's a YouTube video, and it's Ophelia Talks. And she has a video on there that tells you how to crochet the bag. Or yes, crochet the bag. She tells you how to do the squares, and she tells you how to, you lay them out because they're all square, and then you lay them out flat all next to each other, and then you know, start your constructing, putting it together. One thing that I did different, because just like I did on the Etta bag, is I came around and I did slip stitches here, and it just reinforced all of this, made it a little more sturdy. But isn't that darling? You can even, okay, you go like this, and you can make bigger ones too. Bigger ones. Look at that. It's perfection. It's perfection. So I do love crochet. I haven't crocheted in a little while, so it was so nice to get my hands on a crochet hook and give it another go. Now with crochet, you do use more yarn because you're wrapping and pulling through, wrapping again and wrapping again to get your different stitches. Now this one is, looks like it's a double crochet. And I think I did this one on an F hook, which was the smaller hook than recommended. So that's my little bag from Ophelia Talks. So I would go on YouTube if you were interested in that, and she's got a video on how to do that. She even has a video on how to line that also, which she covered everything. And she's got several different crochet projects that even small ones that are they're really enjoyable. I was going to say I was going to grab something else I've done, but I'll save that for another episode. We'll go ahead with our summer projects here. Let's see where we're at. Oh, my future knits. What I would like to knit in the future, which this would be pretty close. There again, this is Christy Archer. That I had done the test knit for my Ana Luisa top. This is called Little Sprout, and this is the one that I was talking about that has the split hem, and here again she's got with her little denim skirt. She's styling with that, and she has the yarn that she suggested to use is Yarn Bees. I love this cotton. But if you have any other cotton, you know, of course, you know, you can use whatever cotton that would meet gauge to the gauge that she has written down in the pattern. But her patterns, the one thing I really like about them is on the last page, she has, you can keep track of everything. Your yarn, your fiber, your weight, your color, care, blocked gauge, ease, your chest size, the side length, and the knit size. The size that you knit is what she means by knit size. And she always has a schematic there, which I'll show real quick. Yeah, very nice pattern. So that's something that I would like to knit in the future. And I don't know, there's another one that's really popular out now. I would say it's a summer tee. However, you could layer with this one too, and I'm anxious to try this. It's called the Salty Air Tee. This has been really popular. I see it popping up all the time on Instagram, and this is by Samantha Guerin. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Is Guerin is her last name, but it's Salty Air Tee, and it is fingering weight. It's a little bit of a crop. Well, I would say a little longer crop. Short sleeve, lace detail. You can see the lace. I just think this is darling. So I'm going to give this a go. I will definitely use wool for this one because I'm anxious to try some fingering weight wool on a summer tee and see how that wears. And I love the look with the hat, very summery, and with, looks like she's got a high-waisted skirt on, denim skirt. So that's one of my future knits that I would like to do. And I also wanted to talk about, okay, this is what I had shown in episode 2. This is the Haven cardigan, and that's by Olan, O-L-A-N-N, handmade. And I had said that the last time I had searched it, because this is a test knit I had done a year ago, last time I had searched it, it did not show it being for sale yet. And lo and behold, it's for sale. So go to Ravelry, search Haven cardigan. Real quick, for those of you that might not have seen my episode 2, and after you watch this one, please go to episode 2 because I talk a little bit more about it. This is done with super bulky yarn, and it is done with size 15 and size 17 needles. It's got a, I chose to do the 3/4 sleeve, okay, and I knit the number 1, the smallest one. I also have some chunky yarn that I would like to do. So I think I'll probably try to do the small with the chunky yarn, and it'll make it a little bit smaller. And it's not that I don't love this one, it's just I got some chunky yarn that I think this would look beautiful in. And then I'll go down with my needle size 2 probably. And since it's a cardigan, there's really no shaping to it. Look at the detail here under the arm, which goes up the raglan, the front and the back. But I just wanted you to let all of you know that it's for sale. So I'm so excited about that. I'm always excited to see a test knit and that I have done, and then you see it go live and it's available to purchase, and you kind of get to know, well, you do get to know the designer a little bit, because you're communicating with them and fellow test knitters online as you're doing the test knit, and it's a lot of fun. And I would recommend it. I think it's wise because you learn so much from all the other knitters, and you think, oh, I don't know what, and I felt kind of silly at first, the first time I ever test knitted, because I thought I should know this. Why am I having trouble with this stitch, or why am I? And then come to find out somebody else is too. So not everybody, but there's always somebody there that can help you when you test knit. And then when you come across it again in another pattern, or if you decide to do another pattern, make a purchase of that designer pattern that they have created, then you already know, you've already done it, you already know what the answer is. So again, this is the Haven cardigan. It's for sale. So happy, and I can't wait to get started on another one. So another one of these will be another future knit for me. So let me show you. Oh, sorry. Here we go. This is it. And if I can find yarn around that color, I call it like a harvest gold color, and I love that color. And I think with my coloring and my hair coloring, that would look really nice. And with fall coming up, ooh, that would be wonderful. So that is something I wanted to catch you up on. So let me go ahead and take this off real quick. And I don't have any finished projects from episode 2. If you recall, I was working on Camisole No. 2, which is designed, it's called My Favorite Things Knitwear. I don't know why I stumble with that, My Favorite Things Knitwear. It seems like every episode I've stumbled saying that, but it is so cute. I'll show it to you real quick here. Let me grab it. It's back here. It's back here in a bag I have sewn, and I call this bag Le Jardin, or Jardin. I think it means the garden, just because it's written on there. It's got a nice little handle, and I've taken ribbon that has inches on it. So anyway, here it is. It's inside here. And this is Camisole number 2. Okay. The last I had shown you, I was down here, and I am knitting this with Pearl Soho linen quill. And the Pearl Soho linen quill, the color is Peach Stone is the bottom one here, and the other color is Rose Granite on the top. Now, I have this much left, so I'm thinking I've just now split for the underarm right here. I'm going to be starting the front sections, which are triangular. Whoops. Okay, so I'm getting ready to start those. And I have a fear here that I might not have enough. So I'm going to continue. I'll continue knitting. And then I can always go online and on Pearl Soho's website and go ahead and order another skein of that. And I was going to tell you how much was in that because I forgot to tell you last time. It has 439 yards. And this is the fiber makeup is 50% Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. Now, I knew, okay, I did the half and half triangles wrap by Pearl Soho, which is here under my ranunculus here. It's draped up here. And I heard a lot of people were doing it. They were having all these knit-alongs and all these prizes you can win and stuff if you hashtag them and everything. So anyway, I ordered it, and I made mention, I think in episode 1, that it's toothy. I call it toothy. Let me show you. I don't know if it'll show. If it'll show. Yeah, you can see that linen right there? Well, where'd he go? Right here. I have sensitivity to some wools. So I've never tried mohair. I would love to try mohair, but I'm afraid that it'll just itch me. I wouldn't be able to wear it. So when I got this in, and I didn't even read what the makeup of it, what the blend was, the fiber blend, I didn't even read it. And when I see Highland wool, I get like, oh, it's gonna scratch. It's gonna itch. Well, this doesn't. It looks, like I said, when you look at it, I was like, they keep saying it's so soft, but I'm looking at it in the skein, I think, oh, goodness gracious, what have I done? Because it takes 6 skeins to do the half and half triangle wrap, but you don't use very much of the last ones. So this is a testament that I am knitting a camisole that is going to be close to skin soft. I mean, it's going to be on my skin. And not only that, it's going to be hug my skin. This is going to stretch, but I don't know where the peach stone left off in the rose granite, if it's going to be in that good of a spot. You know what I mean? It might be right here. But I really plan on wearing it, layering with it. Like, I'll wear it underneath maybe my ranunculus. Let me grab it here. I could wear it under this, and up here where the lace is, it would be pretty. I mean, it would just kind of blend in. It would be nice. Now, I talk a lot about this ranunculus in episode 1. This is heaven. This yarn, buy it, stop right now, put me on pause, go out and buy it. It's Kogu Premium Merino wool. It is perfection. It knits, it flies off the needles. Of course, this is an enjoyable pattern anyway. I did not do any heel, I just kept going with the yarn, with the skeins. I didn't you know, stop on a couple rows and then start another one, you know, helical knitting, I think that's called. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But anyway, I would go buy this yarn. It's fingering weight. I did not use the recommended needle for the pattern. They use an actual US 10, and I usually use it as a US 9. But look at this. And it blocked wonderful. And what's beautiful about this too is she's done the twisted rib there and here. So anyway, I did the half and half triangles wrap. So let me grab that real quick. Okay, here it is. And this is heaven too. Put me on pause, go online, buy the linen quill. This is extraordinary. There's several patterns. They have pullover, V-neck pullover that I would like to do. But anyway, the reason I got this back out is because I just wanted you to see the Camisole number 2, knit in the linen quill, which is it's the reverse as I'm holding it here. I mean, you can wrap this around any which way. So I'm real happy with that. The colors and it is soft. It is soft. And look at the bounce on this. I'm really excited to get, oops, there's my halfway mark. I am doing this in magic loop, as you can see. Anyway, that's it. And what I'm going to do is I am going to put my half and half wrap around my shoulders here. I'm in the air conditioning. I'm up here in my knitter's niche up in our bonus room upstairs. Just my own little niche, my own little area that I come to and knit. And so let's go on, move forward here. I do have another a whip that I have just casted on. Now, this is a free pattern, everybody. So this is part of the affordable summer knits that I'm talking about. This is a Tip Top Tank. And I didn't know about Tip Top Tank. And I for the life of me, I can't remember knitting podcast I was watching on YouTube. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm gonna look that one up. This is nice. It does have a split hem, which I like that. It's cropped. Well, I cast it on and I thought, well, I'm gonna ask my daughter if she would like to have one of these. And I gave her a choice of colors and she said yes. And I said, well, here's the nice thing about this pattern. Again, go on Ravelry, look this up. It is free. Not only does she have it in the round, okay, pattern, directions, she also has knitting it flat and seaming it. Both ways are in here. They have totally written out for both processes. So both construction, I should say. And you know what's nice about this? You can even wear this like a little vest in the winter over something. You could wear this if you have a long sleeve, kind of collared white shirt that has maybe a scooped hem that hangs a little bit long. Wear this over it and as it cools off. Oh my gosh, that would really be cute. So I've marked on my, you can see where I use highlighter and so on and so forth. Now, it tells you on here the size of needle that it says, okay, it's done with sport weight yarn. And it says on here, since it's free, I can kind of have this out. The needle size, it says 3.5 and 3.25 millimeter. Well, from what I figured, that's like, is that a 4 and a 5? And I'm using sport weight. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't know. So what I did is let me show it to you real quick here. It's in my bag. It's in my Les Jardins bag. Let me go over and see. Oh, I'm so sorry. I believe I used US 6 needles, and here it is. And also for the hem, because it's bottom up, which is fine. Bottom up has got the split hem. Okay. I did, instead of just doing your basic 1x1 rib, I've done the twisted rib. Now, since I'm doing it flat, that's a lot different than doing it in the round, because as you twist, you're going around on the front, you'd be twisting just your knit stitches, okay, in the round. But see, this was flat because it was on the bottom. It's a split hem. See, the split hem was done flat. So what I have to do is, as you knit through the back loop, on your knit stitch, knit through the back loop, and then the purl stitch, excuse me, fuzz, the purl stitch, you have to purl through the back loop. So even though, I think this was 1.5 inches that I had done, it took me a little while, because to manipulate the yarn on the needles like that, to knit through the back loop, and then immediately purl through the next stitch, purl through the back loop, and so on. What would happen if you did it just knitting through the back loop and then purling, doing normal purl? Well, then when you come around, it's just on the other side, you're going to undo the twist, basically. So this is done in, again, the Lion brand, which this is affordable summer knitting. It's our theme for the day, is the Kobu, which is your cotton and bamboo. Now this is the mauve, and the recommended needle size for this is a size US 6, which is what I ended up using. And I had knit some little swatches here for, actually it was for my tweed tee, and I had all these little swatches. And the drape on that, I liked the fabric, and I thought, if I go down that much and with the size 4, US size 4 needle, I'm not gonna like that fabric. So I thought, well, I'm gonna, here's some other ones. I'm going to do it on a size 6, and I'm going to knit a size smaller, because there's a lot of forgiveness on this one, because of the construction of it and because of the shape of it. It's more of a boxy shape, which is intended to be, which is darling, for a little split hem crop tank. So I decided that I needed to go with that drape, and I just needed to, it would just be too tight. It would be too tight, and it wouldn't move, and it wouldn't feel right on the skin. But this feels so nice on the skin. It's very affordable. Oh shoot, how many yards are in this? 232 yards. And it's very affordable. You can do anything with this: bags, sweaters, garments, whatever you like. So anyway, there it is. That's my new project on the needles. It's a whip. So I have 2 whips going right now. Well, actually, I kind of have 3. If you remember, I was going to start the Andrea Mowry Feel Good Shawl, and I've been talking quite a bit about it on episode 1 and episode 2. Well, it's brioche, and you know, as I've told you guys before, I love brioche, the texture, just the dimension, the feel. It's very squishy, which I said that quite a bit in the last 2 episodes. So I did 2 swatches for the colors I'm going to use, because they're brighter colors. And this is it. This is the 2-color brioche. There's the top, okay? There's the two color. This is the one color, one side, excuse me. And then the other side would be the reverse on that. So isn't that cool? That's just so cool. Brioche. And then this is your one color brioche, okay? So certain sections, you have to do the two color brioche, and then another section of the shawl and the pattern, you have the one color brioche, okay? Now, one more that I had never done before is two color double brioche. Well, I got my yarn out and I had the two colors picked that I'm going to use for that section of the shawl, and it's got me buffaloed. I'm not getting it, so I'm putting that to rest for a little bit, and until I get a swatch done. See, that's another thing that I would recommend, and I'm sure a lot of you already do it. If you're doing a new stitch, do a swatch and make sure you have it. Make sure you really are comfortable doing it before you start your project, or else your project, once you start it, it's going to end up in a bag, you know, the side of the bed or in the closet, and you're just going to like, I don't even want to mess with it right now. So I'm waiting to do that swatch. I'm going to try it again. Andrea Mowry has wonderful links on her patterns for her videos that shows you how to do this, but for some reason I'm just not getting it. Now, I did try it with my Chaogu needles, which are steel, which makes it a little more slippery, and I do have the interchangeable needles, Clover, with their bamboo, and I could get that out and try them on there and see if I can figure it out, if there's the slippage is getting to me. What double brioche is kind of like knit two, purl two. I'll do like this, knit two, purl two, only it's done in brioche. So you have, yeah, it's, I can't even explain it right now. If I saw the video, I could explain it, but it was a bit much for me. So and it's not, I mean, people have done it. I've gone on and seen examples on Ravelry of it, and they're beautiful. So it's just me. I have a feeling it's just me. I have a tendency to sometimes overthink on certain things, because I think, oh, I could do this or I could do that while I'm knitting, and I should just focus. Trust the process, as they say, trust the pattern, and just keep going. So I'll try that again and get that going, but I have not cast that on yet, but I'm anxious to. And I think, oh, there's another thing I want to talk a little bit about. What I don't know a lot, but I do know there's different options for summer knitting. Of course, you have your cotton blend, which would be cotton with either linen in with it, or cotton and merino together. There's silk, 100% silk. There's merino with silk. There's so many different blends out there. If you want to go totally plant-based, you could do cotton with a silk, or cotton with linen, or something like that. But with plant-based fibers, there isn't the bounce back that you would have like with a wool blended with cotton, and you won't have the blooming like when you block it, how wool will just kind of poof out, and the stitches all take a real nice shape and kind of fill in and even things out. Because when you're knitting, knitting along, your stitches and your rows, and sometimes they look a little off. Well, when you wet block a wool item, then it blooms and it just turns beautiful. So that's something to think about with cotton. You're not going to have that bounce back like if it had nylon in it too, which it generally does not. But I actually have, and I only have one skein of this. This is Purl Soho's Cattail Silk. This has 618 yards on it. 618 yards. Look at this. And you can see. And they say it just keeps getting softer and softer. But there's your So really, I only need one skein if I want to do a little, a summer tank or a summer tea. And I mentioned, let me find it real quick here. I'm kind of thinking about doing this salty air tea in this. I think that would be outstanding. Outstanding, and let me know. Now this says 100% silk, as you can see right there. Yep, 100% silk. So that, I've never knit with silk before, so that would be something new for me to try, and I'm all up for that. All up for that. Well, I think we've kind of gone over everything, and I'm just letting you know I'm so appreciative of all of you being so supportive of me. I have more viewers, more views on my video than I ever thought I would have. And I appreciate that. I enjoy doing this, and I like your comments. I read every single one of them, and I comment on all of them. So please give me a hi, or a, you know, glad to meet you, comment if you would. And I'm going to end this video like I usually do, saying keep on knitting, persevere, don't give up. Now I'm not going to give up on that Andrea Mallory Feel Good shawl. So, because I know it's going to be fabulous, it's going to be well worth it, and I'm going to learn something new by doing that 2-color double brioche stitch. So, and I also want to say, knit the day, you know, go out there, knit the day, be open to learning new things, and thank you so much for watching. I am so appreciative of your viewership, and we'll be looking forward to my next podcast, our episode number 4. And what I'm doing, which seems to be working out pretty good, I will be putting out an episode generally either late Friday nights or early Saturday morning, so every 2 weeks. Since it's just little old me, it gives me a little bit more time to get ready and to work on my projects, and to maybe even cast on some new ones. So again, I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for all your support, and keep knitting, and have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.